Today in the battle arena, well, we've got the Avengers, the MCU's premier superhero team, going up against the new kids on the block. Ikaris, Sersi, Festus, the Eternals. So who's going to win? Who's going to come out on top here? Claim that top spot as the most powerful superhero team? Well, let's find out. What's up, guys? I just spilled my coffee, but I'm still Daniel. This is still DanCo. Thank you so much for watching the channel. Make sure you go and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn notifications, more videos like this one every week. Also, go follow us on TikTok, Instagram, link in the description down below, and sign off in the comments for any future videos that you love to see. Now let's get into the fight. So I don't think we need to spend too much time talking about the Avengers here starting out. I mean, they're the Avengers. They're like the highest grossing movie franchise of all time. They're like the ultimate superhero team. You know who the Avengers are. You don't need me sitting here talking about, oh, this is Iron Man. Oh, this is Thor. This is Spider-Man's powers. You know. What you might not know is who the Eternals are. Let's talk about them for a second here. Like I said, the new kids on the block. So without getting into spoilers here, because obviously I don't want to spoil the movie for y'all, here's a little rundown. Ajax, she's the leader of the bunch. It might be kind of debatable if she's actually a good leader or not. That's going into spoiler territory, so I don't want to push back a little bit, pull back. But anyways, she has been leading them for like thousands of years, so they will follow her. She doesn't suck as a leader. Her power is basically being able to heal what looks like any wound, any injury. And while that might not necessarily beat the Avengers outright, it'll definitely help the Eternals stay in this fight for a lot longer. Because she can just run around healing everybody's wounds, keeping everybody in tip-top shape, operating at 100%. Kingo is my guy. I think he's one of my favorite characters in the movie. But a lot of what he's doing is just going around shooting finger guns. That's about all he is. And while that might be actually pretty effective against deviants, they're probably going to be less effective against like Cap's shield or Iron Man's armor. And they're just going to have no effect on Hulk and Thor, guys like that. Although it would be pretty cool to see Kingo run into Thor again, because he was saying that Thor followed him around when Thor was a little kid. Don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I doubt it. But it would be cool if it actually was true, and seeing them pair up again, I just know that'd be fun. Gilgamesh is probably about as close to like the Hulk as the Eternals are gonna get. Because man, he can throw a mean punch, like just a mean punch. His durability might be a little bit questionable, but I think it is safe to say that he can take down probably like half the Avengers with just one hit. Like anybody below Iron Man, Gilgamesh can probably beat with a punch. He's just got to get his hands on him first. Man, probably the biggest bait and switch that Eternals played on me was casting Angelina Jolie. I thought I was going to see Angelina Jolie play a badass warrior lady. And I mean, she was, but like she was barely in the movie. Like you're telling me you're going to get Angelina Jolie, you're going to cast her, and then you're not going to make her one of the main characters? What is up with that? Whatever. What was that? That was stupid. That's what that was. But basically, Thena is like Wonder Woman. She's probably one of the best fighters out there. She can manifest any weapon that she wants. She's definitely a threat here. Honestly, she's probably going to be one of the hardest Eternals for the Avengers to beat. Sprite might look like just a little kid, but don't let those looks fool you. She could possibly beat most all the Avengers by herself. Well, maybe. No, let me rephrase that. I don't think she can straight up beat them by herself, but she can definitely pave an easy victory for the Eternals. Here's what I mean. Sprite is an illusionist. She's going to get people seeing stuff that's not there, or not seeing stuff that's really there, just throwing all the Avengers for a big old loop. I mean, just ask Loki how easy it is to trick Thor.
Are you ever not going to fall for that?
Mysterio got a one-up over Spider-Man. Don't act like this isn't stuff Sprite can do. Droog is also one of those really tricky ones. Because while he might not look like much, he is probably the biggest threat there is out here. I think he's the one piece the Avengers definitely have to clear real quick in order to have a shot at winning. Because he can control minds. And it's not like the Avengers really have a strong track record against this sort of stuff. I mean, if Drew can take all the Avengers out of the fight with mind control, if he can get them fighting amongst themselves, if he can even just take Hulk and Thor out of the fight, how is he not the biggest threat to the Avengers here? Then there's his girlfriend, Ikaris. Gosh, she's fast. She is freaking fast. I mean, I'm talking like circling the earth in an instant kind of fast. I never learned how to snap, but if I had, I would snap my fingers right now because that's how fast she is. And good luck to the Avengers for anybody trying to catch her, because I don't really think that's going to happen. I don't think that's too likely. Festus is kind of like the Eternals version of Iron Man, except he might be even better with tech than Tony is. Which, I mean, I know that's kind of blasphemous to say, but this is what Festus was created for, right? To be the best there ever was with tech. So is it really that crazy to suggest he might be better than Tony? No, I'm saying might be. Don't go for my head just yet. He might be. Plus, I mean, it does help that Festus is working with tech powered by like limitless cosmic energy. That's never a bad thing. Then there's Sersi, my girl, my queen. I went into the movie knowing next to nothing about her, but how can you not love her? She's got the ability to manipulate inanimate matter. And if you know, you know. Keep it to yourself, because remember, no spoilers. And this power of hers could be like super deadly here. I mean, what's Cap gonna do without a shield? What's Thor gonna do without the hammer? What's Iron Man gonna do without his suit? Could she just straight up wipe Vision out completely? Not gonna lie, not gonna front here. Those are all very legitimate questions. I think the downside here is that she actually has to get her hands on all that stuff to do anything to it, which means that the Avengers are going to be close enough to get their hands on her. Then there's Ikaris. He's like their big gun. He's like their Hulk, their Thor, their Captain Marvel. He's their guy. He's the big boy. But really, he's probably closest to being the Superman of the group. Basically, the guy came to play, and he's really relying on his heat vision, his flight, his speed, all that. And from what we've seen, it can do some damage, man. Not gonna lie, it can mess some people up. It went up against the Eternals, went up against the Deviants, went up against people. It can hurt the Avengers too. And it's probably about time to mention the Avengers here. Bring them into the fight now. And let me be clear here. There is a specific reason why I chose this team, why I chose this specific lineup. Because I think they counter the Eternals in a really interesting way, while at the same time not being like way too outbalanced one way or the other. Like, I think the biggest non-physical threats the Eternals have, they're Droog and Sprite. Non-physical, that's like not counting Ikaris or people like that. Droog and Sprite. And well, I'd like to introduce you to Iron Man, SpiderMan, and Scarlet Witch. So Sprite's thing is illusions, but I doubt those illusions are going to be good enough to trick Iron Man's tech. I really doubt that. Really doubt that. But if they are, let's say they are, well, that's where Spider-Man comes in with his Spidey sense, his Peter Tingle, because that's proven that it can bust right through illusions. And once you take Sprite's illusions off the table, you can take Sprite off the table. I mean, it's not like she's that physically intimidating. Droog is probably the harder one to get rid of, just because the Avengers clearly do not have the best track record against telepaths. Looking at you, Wanda. I'm also looking at you to carry your team here. Scarlet Witch and Droog have basically the same powers with this stuff. They're both able to mind control whole towns, whole groups of people. And if anything, Wanda's shown she's better. She's got a hold of Agatha and Thor, and it at least looks like both of them have had run-ins with telepaths in the past, and it hasn't really worked too well on them. I mean, Thor did mention something like that right before Wanda got a hold of him.
The girl tried to walk my mind. Take special care. I doubt a human can keep her at bay. Fortunately, I am mighty.
So I think Wanda's got Drogo beat here. Or at the very least, I think she can hold him off until somebody can actually take him down. And if the Avengers can beat those two people, which I think they can, then I don't know. I don't think the Eternals have the firepower to beat the Avengers here. I just don't. I mean, sure, Ikaris' heat vision is something, but Thor took the force of a star. Gilgamesh can throw a mean punch, but Hulk took ones from Surtur. Kingo can shoot out some energy blast. Ultron, Loki, literally everybody shoots out energy blast. That's nothing new. Thena is a badass warrior. Proxima Midnight. Makari is insanely fast, but her actual punches weren't doing too much, so I don't genuinely see her beating Thor or beating Hulk or somebody like that. Cersei is really a genuine threat if she gets her hands on you, but there are just too many Avengers that can take her out from a distance. Whether that's Iron Man or Thor, Scarlet Witch or Vision or anybody, somebody can beat her from a distance. See what I mean? It really comes down to Sprite and Drew. These are the guys that can beat the Avengers. So if the Avengers can take them out, or really if Scarlet Witch can take them out, let's be honest here, she's carrying the team, and if she can do it early, then the Avengers can win. The Avengers will win. But that's also true in reverse. If somebody beats Scarlet Witch, if Droog mind controls Scarlet Witch, if Ikaris heat vision blasts Scarlet Witch, if somebody beats Wanda, they can take her out. Then the Eternals can sweep. But after watching WandaVision, I just have a lot more faith in Scarlet Witch here. I mean, I'm putting all my money behind her. I'm going all in. I'm definitely not betting against her. Also, just not really betting against the Avengers, period. But man, this is a whole lot closer of a fight than I thought it'd be. The Eternals movie, it might not have impressed that many people, but the Eternals themselves, they impressed me here in this fight. I'm kind of blown away by how powerful they are. They are truly a superhero team like to be reckoned with. But I think the Avengers are still the Avengers. I think the Avengers are still the top dogs in the MCU. I think the Avengers are still just a step above. The Eternals are not quite there just yet. They're not quite strong enough just yet. So yeah, I'm taking the Avengers. The Avengers win. But what do y'all think? Sign off in the comments down below. Who do you think wins this fight? The Avengers or the Eternals? What did you think about the Eternals movie? Sign off down below. Also, be sure, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn notifications from the DanCo army. And I'll see y'all next time.